Hello everybody, this is going to be a very fast intro because they are doing roof work on my apartment right now, so I'm trying to get in between the banging. Today I'm here with my full bullet journal flip through of volume 2 of my bullet journal. I've been working on volume 2 for about a year and a half and I finished it in May, so today I'm here with a full flip through, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, welcome to the full flip through of volume 2 of my bullet journal. Back in January 2020 we did a full flip through of volume 1, which I'll link down below in case you're interested. This is where you will see like a big transformation between starting bullet journaling up to where I was at the end of this one. So this one went from April 2018 to December 2019, and volume 2 went from January 2020 until May 2021. Today we're going to do a full flip through of volume 2, covering roughly a year and a half of my bullet journal experience. So let's go ahead and get started. All of my bullet journals have this front page that I've added in, including the one that I'm currently working on, because I like to see how long I use them for, because normally I never ever fill up a journal ever until now. 2020. Here's my book log that I did in 2020. It is every single book that I read during the year. And then at the very end I had to put a note because The Betrothed was read twice in 2020, but I forgot to put it in twice. So I had to write it down in here for a total of 114 books read in 2020. I actually kind of miss having a book log page because I don't have one this year, but it was really hard to keep up with. Then I have a 2020 ARCs page that in hindsight I wish I hadn't done, because I did end up getting, I think, some other ARCs, but I never actually filled it in. But these are all the ARCs that I had in 2020 that I read and their release dates. And we're starting off with January. So this is the way that I do my monthly layouts, like this. It has not changed. This is still the same. However, this is different. I don't know at what point it changed inside of this bullet journal, but I don't do this anymore where I have TBR and other books that I read. The pages read is still the same, but I just do it a little differently. Again, something that is still the same. Monthly layout. I started doing this. I didn't realize it changed so soon. I started putting the books that I read instead of my TBR so I could see what I was finishing during the month. And I was inspired by this by Kathleen from For the Love of Books, my friend Kat. She doesn't do bullet journal videos anymore, but I'll link her channel in the description below. She did something similar to this where she had the covers laid out, and I added my ratings for each of them underneath. Here we have more of that. Eventually this does evolve. You will see it evolve throughout the bullet journal into what it currently is, or at least as close to what it currently is as possible. Yeah, I feel like in this pages read you can definitely see where the pandemic picked up, because I think it was like around here that lockdown started, and then my reading significantly picked up when I didn't have to drive to university campus anymore. This is closer to what it is today. The more I read, the smaller I had to make the covers, so this is closer to what it looks like now. So this was also the stay-at-home reading rush. You're going to see 2 reading rush spreads in this bullet journal, but I do want to note that I no longer support the reading rush and will no longer be participating in the reading rush. I'm not even sure if they're doing the reading rush anymore, based off of events that happened last year. So yeah, we're just going to move on. Can you tell I graduated college and my reading really picked up here? READ-O-RAMA is my own read-a-thon. And I really enjoy this spread. I really like the rainbow that's going with it. We actually just finished a round of Read-O-Rama, so maybe we'll have to bring the rainbow spread back because I'm really digging it. And then we come to the month that I moved. Like, I actually moved. And you can tell for 3 days, the day before, the day of, and the day after my moving, I didn't read a single thing. This was the other reading rush that is in here. This is where my reading really started to pick up again. Books Read has now evolved to not have the little like squares around each book, but it just has the ratings. This is my first time participating in Latinx A-THON. I'm not a fan of this spread. I've done better spreads, so I don't like the way this looks, but I'm sure it will get better the next time I participate. And here we've evolved to not even putting the ratings under the books, which is what I currently do. So this is more current with what I do now. Read-O-Rama happened again in 2020. And this is a very simplistic spread. We didn't really have graphics that we were doing for this because it was only a weekend round, I think. I forgot I participated in the Disney read-along. That wasn't even that long ago, and this was the first time I participated. And I read 3 books from the same series. I started to get a little more fun with the patterns that I did, the books that I read. They are still in the order that I read them, but they're more fun. And I participated in 'Tis the Season A-THON. And I did this cute little spread that I really like. As simple as it is, I really like it. And now we reach 2021. When I was putting together the stuff for 2021, I had a lot of mess ups and a lot of different things I had to fix. So because 2021 started in this bullet journal, I don't completely not use this bullet journal now. I do have some 2021 stuff that I still have to go back and use, which you'll see as we move forward. For starters, the POPSUGAR challenge for 2021. I stopped doing this a couple years ago, but my friend Desiree from Libri Labra asked myself and Kat if we would do the challenge with her. So I have done most of it. I only have 11 challenges left on the whole thing. So I guess we'll see how many more I do by the end of the year. Not a fan of how this looks. I bought a bunch of new washi tape and was really excited to use it. Was trying to be fun and funky, and it didn't work. So I'm not a fan of how this looks. But on the left we have the BUZZWORD challenge, which is currently going on. I don't participate every month, so you can see where I have like NA and NA for the months that I didn't participate in. But yeah, everything else just has some titles that I read. This is my Goodreads challenge. I want to read 100 books this year, which I totally think is feasible. I'm already more than halfway through. I'm at 65% and we're only in June. So it's definitely going to happen. I color code it based off of the color that I use each month. So currently in June, I'm using this salmon color. So everything that is a salmon color is what I read in June. This ended up happening instead of an entire book log. So this is a favorites of the month 2021. So each month I pick my favorite of the month and it ends up here. As you can see, it's a lot of adult romance and then of course one fantasy with A Court of Silver Flames. This spread is so ugly I don't even want to talk about it. Again, this spread is so ugly I don't even want to talk about it. This was Read Your Bookshelf-a-thon that came back in January. I kind of just ignore this spread because it makes me sad when I look at it. February, I started experimenting with glitter. I don't know if you can see the glitter on here, but there's a lot in patches. I don't know, I really like it. This right here, February 2021, is how I really want my bullet journal to be. Like, this is kind of where you can see more evolution of what I'm doing currently. So I bought a roll of craft paper and I really, really love using it. I watched a bunch of like bullet journal hauls, like stationery hauls, and I really evolved with what I'm doing. So I have a lot of craft paper. I bought this, like, I guess you could call it like sticky, like roll-on tape. I don't really know how to describe it, but I use that now and it's way easier to put the papers down than it was before. You can see I have a lot more washi coming in because I bought a lot of washi at the end of the year. And I also bought a stamp. So I stamp all of my lettering now, which I really like because my handwriting has always been an issue when it comes to my bullet journal. I participated in Shrek-a-thon and I finished 3 books out of the 4. So I really like this spread too. I had this theory that like the brown is like the mud pot or the mud patch, and then there's Shrek and Donkey because he's an ogre and he lives in a swamp. See, it makes sense. More glitter that you can see way more easily on here. Again, experimenting with the craft paper, still really enjoying it. And again, it changes like throughout. 'Tis the Damn Read-A-Thon, the Taylor Swift inspired readathon that I participated in, very low key. April, you can't see the glitter, but there's glitter on the letters. I also bought some scrapbook paper, so I've kind of started using that as well as this like wood themed washi tape that I have. Very simple, very enjoyable. Then I have this random succulent sticker. I just really like it. May. This is one of my favorite washi tapes to use. One, because it has mermaids on it and I really enjoy the colors, but it's also scratch and sniff, which is really fun. I really just need to glue this paper together. I'm going to glue this together. Let's ignore this one. Oh, that's actually the end. I reached the end. Okay, so do the thing-a-thon spread. This did not work out at all. I just forgot to glue it shut, so I'm going to glue that shut. So this is truly the end of the bullet journal. So that is the whole flip through of this bullet journal that I used from January 2020 to May 2021. So I've noticed that each bullet journal really takes up like a year and a half. They also don't sell this style of bullet journal anymore at Michael's, which sucks because I really, really liked it. So I've had to get a different one that will hopefully, it's worked out so far. I might just stock up on them in case they also don't sell that anymore. And I hope that never happens. That is all for my flip through video today. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you like what you see here, please go ahead and click subscribe. I post new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. Click subscribe to keep me updated for when I post those. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!
In the darkness, I don't feel so cold.